nominees were. I just like to see a lot of pretty people in a room, okay? Enjoy and celebrating movies. This year is actually the very first year where I have seen all 10 of the best picture nominees, so I'm really proud of myself for that. I did enjoy most of them, which is a shocker because there's always one where I'm just like, I don't really like that, but each one had something I thought was interesting. I definitely have a ranking. Is my ranking, you know, objective? Not at all, but to me, it makes the most sense, based on, you know, what I think should win, will win, and just like, what I like. It gets really crazy, online around award season for some reason. Like, people get vicious, which I don't think should be the case. We all want to celebrate movies, we all want our faves to win, but obviously that can't happen 100% of the time, and looking at what's been nominated for the Academy Awards this year are all very, very interesting in their own right. I don't think there's anything that shouldn't be there. Definitely some things I think are missing. First and foremost, I saw All of Us Strangers, and while I don't think that the film itself could, like, deserve a nomination, I thought it was, like, you know, it was fine. It was really the performances that really sell it, and honestly, the script was awesome as well, so that would have been cool to see that nominated, but, you know, like, whatever. I also really enjoyed the movie Origin. Well, enjoyed is a very strong word for that movie. I really appreciated it. Definitely in the only gonna watch this once in my life movies for me, but still a fantastic, important movie that I'm shocked didn't get nominated for anything, because it's just one of those important movies that really says a lot with its acting and with its storytelling. I mean, it's directed by Ava DuVernay, but you know, there's nothing for it, but whatever. And, gosh, I wish I could remember the main actress's name. It's Anjanou Taylor, I believe, and she is that movie. Like, that movie revolves around her, and she owns it. She drives that ship like it is none of her business, and I love it. I'm shocked that it didn't get nominated for anything. Maybe it's just because it's so, I mean, it's not one of those movies that you go and, it's not one of those movies that you just go and enjoy. It's one of those movies that you have to buckle yourself up for, and I mean, I saw that movie without knowing I was seeing that movie, because we do, at Regal, they do a mystery movie, and that was one of them, and my oh my, I was not prepared. I don't know what I was gonna walk into, and that was not it, but you know what, glad I watched it. Really great, really fantastic, but you know, I didn't get nominated, but it's whatever, it's whatever. Another movie that I'm, like, genuinely shocked didn't get anything is The Color Purple. Babe, I have never cried so much because I'm convinced just because people don't like musicals, which is a bummer because it's a bummer. It's stupid. I don't understand why people can't just sit down and watch a musical. It's not that hard. Maybe it's because it was a remake. They didn't want to, but then again, there's like West Side Story, and it's like, hey babe, what are we doing here? Which I didn't really like the West Side Story remake, but that's neither here nor there. But it's whatever. Poor Things is personally my pick for that. It's personally like my favorite Best Picture nominee overall. I think the performances are great. The story is interesting. It looks interesting. There's so much going on that I think that it definitely is my favorite. Does it deserve to win everything? I don't know. I don't know what they're looking for, but for me, like, out of all of those movies, which one am I probably going to be recommending to people is probably going to be Poor Things. That's not to say that I didn't enjoy all the others, but that one is the top of my list and will definitely be something I'd want to go back to at a later date. One that kind of surprised me was Anatomy of a Fall. Everyone I know had said it's fantastic, and I was like, it's whatever. It was one of the last ones that I had to watch on my list, and I ended up going to the theater and seeing it, and I walked out. I honestly thought it was a movie about divorce. So imagine my surprise 5 minutes in, but you know, honestly, it made my experience better because I didn't know what I was in for, and I'm glad I went in that blind because that movie is a masterclass in acting by Sandra Wooler, I believe is how you pronounce her name, and it also is just a fantastic script where, you know, you're in like two settings the entire film, but I did not feel the runtime at all, and it was like 2.5 hours. Did not feel the runtime. I was gripped. I was on the edge of my seat with just talking. And not to say Oppenheimer's boring or anything, but like there's like a million different places you're going in Oppenheimer. But I do feel that thing a little bit. To me, Oppenheimer feels longer than Killers of the Flower Moon. And, you know, that's Killers is the longest Oscar nominated movie this year, and it's 3.5 hours, but it doesn't feel that way because that movie moves so quick. Which is probably, I think it's and so yeah, like Anatomy of a Fall, Poor Things, Killers of the Flower Moon. Top 3 right there. Those are all great. Interestingly enough, American Fiction was another Rico mystery movie, and that was also nominated for a lot. Which is shocking because like 90% of all Rico mystery movies are some of the worst movies I've ever seen, but you know, it's whatever. Sorry, I'm talking really fast. I don't know if that's relaxing or anything, but I get really excited to talk about movies. Going through all the movies in my head about what to talk about. I guess I haven't really spoken about Barbie. I loved Barbie. I saw it twice in the theater because I liked it so much, and while I do think it is a really fun, good movie, I think that's all it really is fun. It's not, I think it's how do I say this without sounding too negative? Okay, for reference, I give Barbie a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So before anyone comes at me, that is the ranking. But I don't think that it deserves to be nominated for a lot of the Oscars that it is. Like, it to me seems Best Picture, Best Screenplay, and Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress. Like, that's a lot for Barbie, honestly. And I think you could have used those spaces to give other movies that little push rather than Barbie. But I guess I think it's I think it's honestly like the ratings. Sorry, that's my stomach. But I honestly think it's like the ratings or something dictating it, because most people saw Barbie, and so I think that because of that, the Academy Award, like, producers, not like the voters, well, I guess kind of the voters do, but like the producers want a movie that people have seen, because in years past, most people never really see the Oscar-nominated movies. Like, they're always kind of, what do you mean? I mean, like, they're never blockbusters. They're never blockbusters. But this year they are. You have Oppenheimer and Barbie. Blockbusters. Oppenheimer makes more sense, of course, because, I mean, yeah, it's more of an Oscar baity movie, but not to the length of some of the others. Like, yeah, Oppenheimer makes more sense, but Barbie, love you, girl. Honestly, love you. Love Barbie. Like I said, I love the movie. 4.5 stars. But I wouldn't put it in the best pictures of the year. Most influential biggest impact movies of the year. Yeah, of course, like, whatever the stupid thing they made up for the Golden Globes, like, biggest, theatrical event, whatever it was, at the Golden Globes. Like, yeah, Barbie deserved to win that. People were coming out in droves to go see the Barbie movie, and it's some of the best outfits I've ever seen. Like, that is an event. But not Best Picture 2024. Crazy. Yeah. Sorry, rant over. The Holdovers, I remember seeing that, those trailers, like, during the summer, I want to say, and when that movie came out, I was like, this is gonna be my ish, okay? This is gonna be it for me, because this is my personality, are these types of movies. I love the look of these movies. I love them so much. I think they're great. The story is very simple. Very simple. And you know what? That's what I love about it. I think that it could go even less and it would still be great. It has a very distinct look to it that harkens back to like movies of the 70s and 80s that I find cozy and stuff. Paul Giamatti does everything in his power to make sure that you know that he can act his butt off, okay? His butt is moving so hard. You know, he goes so well. And I do. And, you know, it's the movie really goes into me. It's my brother's personal favorite movie of the year. Like, he's watched it a bunch of times because they put it on Peacock, I think. And he's watched it a bunch of times because he loves it. I love it. It's fantastic. I recommend that one to basically anyone. Like, that's a dad's movie, you know? Like, that's such like your dad doesn't know what to watch. You're gonna watch The Holdovers. It's good. It's good. Some other things that I was like, my mid movies this year are Past Lives, Maestro, and Zone of Interest. I'm not limiting anything about those movies because I do like individual aspects of each of them. They just weren't ones that stood out to me. They were just kind of ones that exist. So, is fictitious and Killian's is a real person, but they stood out to me the most as characters that are different from others and really felt different and special this year. I think that for the best actress, it really is just gonna come down to Emma Stone and Lily Gladstone. And I wouldn't be mad about either, because they both do a fantastic job in their respective movies. Emma Stone kind of drives the ship. Man, these ship references, I can't. Really, like, takes hold of, like, she is that movie. Like, first and foremost, like, she is that movie. And gives, like, a very varied performance throughout the entire thing. Like, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's doing all of this. You have Lily Gladstone on the other end of the spectrum, who gives such an emotional and intense performance without doing a lot. Whereas, you know, Poor Things is a very zany, kooky movie. So, it's easy to like go big. Whereas Lily Gladstone's performance is very subdued, because Killers of the Flower Moon is of course based on true events, and it's not gonna be like theater actor craziness. It's gonna be very, you know, small and intimate, and really shows a lot of acting through eyes and facial expressions rather than, you know, movements, because that movie is very still. Because it doesn't need to have a lot of things that are in your face. It just needs to tell its story, and it needs to tell it well. And you know what? Lily Gladstone really does a lot for that movie, and Emma Stone does a lot for her movie. So I don't know which way the voters are gonna go, because it really could be anyone's game. But honestly, it's just between those two, if I'm being honest. I could ramble about the Oscars all day if I'm being like so for real right now. And movies in general, but the Oscars for real, because those are... I'm just really proud of myself for doing all of the Best Picture nominees. I've never done it before. I always say I'm going to, and then I never do, because there's always at least one movie where I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm watching that. But this year I really did it, and you know what? Heck yeah, heck yeah. I don't even know if this is relaxing or anything for anyone, but you know what, to me, I would listen to someone ramble all day. I don't know if